Good evening, and welcome to the Butterfly Experience LLC. I wanted to talk to the audience today, or my Facebook followers today, about integrity and who's basically, if somebody doesn't have any integrity in a relationship, if somebody is not treating you right in a relationship. Hi, Cuffy, how are you? Whose responsibility is that? Are we responsible for people that don't have integrity? And I see a lot of posts. I hear a lot of people who do things to other people, talk about playing people out. You got played. Somebody dogged you out. You were dumb. You were this. You were that. But the reality is, when somebody does something to you and they don't exhibit integrity and they don't exhibit respect and all of those things, it's on them, because it's a character flaw. At the end of the day, the person who is good is always going to come out on top, because they're going to move on with their lives, be who they are. They're never going to have to be fraudulent. They're never going to have to negate the value of who they are, because they'll move on and be appreciated by somebody else. But I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about I won't say it's the underdog, but the victim in situations, or people who go through issues or problems with other people. And I hear people say ridiculous things. Like, it's amazing to me how, with our value system, how we skew it a little bit. And we think that the people who have integrity are the bad people, and the people who don't are getting over. They're not getting over on anybody but themselves. That's their loss, because they have to go to the next person and the next person and the next person to do the same thing. Hi, Tommy Blake. So when you have integrity, you always going to come out on top. Because at the end of the day, you're going to move on and be who you are. They have to keep reinventing themselves. They're the frauds. How you doing, Albo Johnson? So, we just have to really rethink that. Specifically, we talking about men and women, or women in relationships and stuff like that. People get it twisted. Like, as long as you are a person of integrity, as long as you are a person who's honorable, as long as you are a person who's respectful, at the end of the day, you're still going to come out on top, because you're going to be who you are, and somebody's going to appreciate you for it. We got the game messed up. The reality is, we need to really rethink our mindset, how we look at things. We're backwards now these days. It's like the people that we cheer on and the people that we are excited about are the people who are dogging people out, doing bad things to people and getting over. That doesn't make you better than anybody. That makes you worse, actually, because you have an issue with integrity. You have a character flaw that you need to work on. Hi, Douglas. How are you? It's amazing to me. I read some of these posts and I'm like, man, people just don't get it. And it's another thing that people need to understand. There are people who are very comfortable having integrity and being by themselves. Holla, Brew. What's up, Isaiah? They have no problem being by themselves and doing what they need to do. And I'm talking about this because Valentine's Day is coming up and women get all fussy and upset. Sometimes you better by yourself. So this whole idea that, I don't know. It's just, we just have to really change the way we think and how we view life and relationships and situations. I see a lot of posts. Oh, women are lonely. Oh, don't nobody want this person. Oh, people talking about people taking selfies because they lonely or they alone. Let me tell you something. Just because a person is alone don't mean they lonely. So it's just a crazy process that we need to rethink, specifically this time of year where it's all about love and relationships, that you don't want people to be all caught up because they choose to be single, or they choose to be by themselves, or they choose to, what's the word I'm looking for? They choose their self-respect and their integrity rather than to be in a bad situation. And just because you have a situation doesn't mean it's a good situation. So people need to think about all of these things when they, abuse people with their comments and their posts and their negative naysaying attitudes about people that just might be choosing to be by themselves. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, always practice integrity. No matter what somebody does to you, they're doing it to themselves. They're not doing it to you. Because as long as you are a good person, you're going to come out on top anyway. So what's up? What's up, Isaiah? How's everything doing? Douglas and Albo and Tommy? I just wanted to stop in because I see some of these posts and I get irritated. And when I get irritated or get an epiphany, I have to make a comment about it because we need to rethink how we communicate about situations and relationships. People don't have a clue. And one thing I don't suggest that anybody take advice from, if they're in a relationship, you probably shouldn't take advice from people that are not in relationships. If you're in a marriage, don't take advice from people that are single about a marriage because they can't give you the advice you need. Now, unless they've been through something like that, or they've been in a long-term relationship, or they've been in a marriage, and they can give you some advice. But I would not take any advice as a married person from anybody single. And be careful because people will tell you what they won't do, what they wouldn't tolerate, what this and what that, and they'll be going through it. And anybody who's ever been in a relationship where they shared somebody or they were willing to involve themselves in somebody else's relationship, meaning be on the side, then they really are not in a position to talk about what they're doing and talk about how great they are because they're on the side. So already once you're on the side, you're already losing your integrity right there. So there's a lot of things that people need to understand. They make a lot of comments about other individuals without looking at themselves in the mirror to see if their integrity is in question. So I really want to do a whole relationship series too, and I want to talk to people about that because, everybody has something to say about somebody else's situation and their situation is all jacked up. All right. So, for this holiday coming up, I did a quick post, before. Worry about yourself. Okay. Keep your integrity in check and don't dog out people that's going through something. Because you don't know what that situation is. And at the end of the day, if somebody did something to them, it's on the person who did it. It is not on the person who was victimized. Okay? So remember that. Anyway, y'all have a good evening. I just had to get that off my chest. All right? I really didn't have it structured or anything. I'm just tired of seeing these posts that really get on my nerves. And I don't have a lot of time to talk about things. So y'all have a good evening. And have a great holiday coming up. And ladies, if you're by yourselves, men, if you're by yourselves, don't worry about it. All right? Love yourself first. All right? Peace and have a good evening. Peace.